Hi friends, in this lecture we are going to discuss deviations from Beer's law. In the last lecture already we have discussed the two fundamental laws of the photometry. The first one is the Lambert's law and the second one is the Beer's law. So here the Lambert's law, it gives the relation between a radiant power of the absorbed light with the thickness of the medium, and the Beer's law, it gives the relationship between the radiant power of the absorbed light with the concentration of medium. Already we have discussed all these things in the last lecture, and friends, all of you know that when we combine these two laws, that is the Lambert's law and the Beer's law, then such a law, it is called as the Lambert-Beer's law. So here in this lecture we are going to consider the deviations from the Beer's law. So here from the mathematical statement of Lambert's-Beer's law is given by the equation. So here A is equal to epsilon into B into C. So here A is the absorbance, this epsilon, it is the molar absorptivity, B is the path length, while the C is the concentration. So what is the important, friends, here for a given system and for given path length. So here this absorbance is directly proportional to the concentration, and here all of you know that once again, that is a Beer's law, it gives the relation between the radiant power of the absorbed light and the concentration. So here A is directly proportional to C. That means here when we plot the graph of absorbance versus concentration, then the straight line passing through the origin should be obtained. So here this is the graph of absorbance versus concentration. So here when we plot the absorbance versus concentration, here the straight line is expected. So here this is the ideal or the theoretical graph. So here the experimental verification of the laws, it is shown in the figure. So here this is a positive deviation, and while this is a negative deviation. So here when the measured absorbance for the particular concentration, if it greater than the expected absorbance, at that time here we get the positive deviation, and here when the measured absorbance is less than the expected absorbance or theoretical absorbance, then here we get the negative deviation. So here this is the ideal graph, while this is the positive deviation and the negative deviation, that means deviation from the Beer's law. So here sometimes the plot of absorbance versus concentration does not give the straight line. So here there is a deviation from the linear relationship, and the Beer's law is not obeyed. So here when the actual absorbance is greater than the expected, the system shows the resultant curve, which is a concave upward, and it is called as the positive deviation. So this is the concave upward, so this is the concave downward, and here when the actual absorbance is less than expected, the system shows a resultant curve is concave downwards, and then it is called as the negative absorbance. So here there are negative deviation. So there are two types of the deviation, positive deviation as well as the negative deviation. So here the negative and positive deviations from the Beer's law can be arises due to the following reasons or due to the following factors. So here let us consider the various factors or various reasons responsible for the deviation from the Beer's law. So the first one is the shape of an absorption curve, and thus the lambda max value may be sometimes changes with change in concentration of the solution. So here there is a change in the value of the lambda max. So here the shape of an absorption curve, and thus the lambda max value may sometimes change with the change in concentration of the solution, and apparent failures of Beer's law will be result. This phenomenon may what is the reason? So here the main reason is it is may be due to the solute molecule or the solute solvent molecules interaction. That's why there is a change in the value of the lambda max. So here an example of this type is the change of color of solution potassium dichromate. So originally potassium dichromate, its color is orange. So here when it dilute with the water, So potassium dichromate, it is converted into potassium chromate, and the color of the potassium chromate is the yellow after dilution. So that's why there is a change in the value of the lambda max. So here the shape and the absorption curve and lambda max of equal concentration of the potassium dichromate and potassium chromate are different. So here potassium dichromate, its lambda max value is 350 nanometer. So here the lambda max value is 350 nanometer. What is my lambda max value? The wavelength which gives or which shows the maximum absorbance for that particular substance. Such wavelength, it is called the lambda max. So here the potassium dichromate, its lambda max value is 350 nanometer. So here it has potassium dichromate or the chromatine, it has the orange color. So here when the water is added, then here that dichromate, it is converted into chromate, and here there is a change in the color. So the color is yellow, that's why there is a change in the value of the lambda max. So here for the dichromate ion, the lambda max is 350 nanometer, then for the chromate the value is 375. So here when there is a solute molecule or when there is a solute solvent molecule interaction, then there is a change in the value of the lambda max, and here we get the deviation from the Beer's law. So what is the meaning of deviation from the Beer's law? When we plot the graph of absorbance versus concentration, the nature of the graph is not straight line, it is a concave upward or it is a concave downward. That means there is a positive deviation or there is a negative deviation. This is the first reason for the deviation. Let us consider here another example. So deviation may also occur if solute ionizes or dissociate or associate in solution. So here if the ionization or dissociation or the association of the solute in the solution takes place, here the deviation may also occur. Let us consider one example here. So here the benzyl alcohol, it is a polymer. So here benzene alcohol in chloroform exists in a polymeric equilibrium. So here this is the polymer in chloroform, and here there is a formation of the monomer. So here the value of this benzyl alcohol, that is the lambda max, is 300 nanometer. But here when the benzyl alcohol in chloroform, when we consider the benzyl alcohol in the chloroform, so here this polymer is converted into monomers, and here there is a change in the value of the lambda max. So here for this benzyl alcohol the value is 300 nanometer, and for this monomer it is a 276 nanometer. Again there is a change in the value of the lambda max, that is why there is a deviation from the Beer's law. So this is the first reason or the first factor which affect or which is responsible for the deviation from the Beer's law. Let us consider the second one. So here deviation may also occur due to the presence of impurity that fluoresce or absorb at the absorption wavelength. So friends, here if the impurity is present in the sample, so here the presence of impurity that fluoresce or absorb at the absorption wavelength, and here deviation may be occur. So here this interference introduces an error in the measurement of the radiant power of the transmitted light. So here then deviation may also occur due to the presence of impurities, those observed at the absorption wavelength of the test species. Already we have discussed this. This interference introduces an error in the measurement of the radiant power of the observed light of the sample. So this is the second reason for the deviation from the Beer's law. If the impurity is present, that definitely that impurity it affect on the measurement, and here we get the deviation from the Beer's law. Then third and very important, so here the deviation may occur if the monochromatic light is not used. So all of you know that monochromatic light is a light which having the single wavelength. So here when we consider the colorimeter or when we consider the spectrophotometer, the light should be the monochromatic. So if the monochromatic light is not used, then definitely there is a deviation from the Beer's law. This is because the molar absorptivity depends upon the wavelength used. So here the plot of absorbance against the wavelength for the given concentration, it provides the lambda max value in the maximum region of the given system. So here just to find out the value of the lambda max, here we have to find out here we have to plot the graph of absorbance versus wavelength. So here this is the graph of absorbance versus wavelength is considered in the nanometer. So this is the shape of the graph. So here the graph is divided into the three region. So this is a x, then this is a b, y, b, z, or here it is a y and z. So here the Beer's law is obeyed if the spectral region X is used as shown in figure. If this region is used, then the Beer's law is obeyed, and here this value, it is called as the lambda max. So, here the wavelength which gives the maximum absorbance. So, here this is the maximum absorbance, and that particular wavelength which gives the maximum absorbance, it is called as the lambda max. So, here in the colorimeter as well as in the spectrophotometer, the lambda max is very important. So, here if other spectral region, for example, this B or these Z's are used, the deviation are observed. So, friends, here the extent to which sample absorb light depend on the wavelength of the light. This is very important in case of colorimeter. The extent to which the sample absorb light depend on the wavelength of the light, and here the wavelength at which a substance shows maximum absorbance, it is called as the lambda max, and here the lambda max value is important because of the several reasons. So, here the first reason is that the wavelength is characteristic of each component. So, here the wavelength is characteristics of the each component, that means the lambda max is characteristics of the each component. It provide information on the electronic structure of the analyte. The second important point is the lambda max provide the information on the electronic structure of the analyte, and third and very important, it ensures highest sensitivity and minimizes a deviation from the Beer's law. So, here the lambda max value is important because of these three reason. So, here when the lambda max is not used, we get the deviation from the Beer's law. Then here the next point is the bandwidth. Also, if the bandwidth of the radiation is large, that is, here if we use the polychromatic light, then the deviations are also observed. So, this is the third reason for the, or third factor which is responsible for the deviation. Let us consider the number 4. In a single beam instrument, the fluctuation in the electric power can cause the deviation from the Beer's law. So, here what is the reason? Due to the different radiant power of incident light at different settings. So, here when we use the single beam instrument, here there should not be fluctuation in the electric power, and for that purpose here we have to use the stabilizer just to obtain the good result, or just to avoid the deviation from the Beer's law. Then deviation may occur if the width of the slit is not proper. So, here this is very important. The width of the slit is not, if the width of the slit is not proper, definitely there is a deviation from the Beer's law. Therefore, when the width of the slit is not proper, here it allows undesirable radiations or the stray radiations to fall on the detector without passing through the sample. So, here this causes the negative deviation from the Beer's law. So, here when we consider the instrument of the colorimeter, so in that instrument the width of the slit should be proper. If it is not proper, then there is a deviation from the Beer's law. This is the fourth reason or the fourth factor. Let us consider the last reason. Deviation may occur if the sample is non-homogeneous or suspensions are present in it. So, this is also very important. So, here in the colorimeter as well as in the spectrophotometer, the sample should be the homogeneous and there should not be any suspension in the sample. So, just to avoid the deviation from the Beer's law. If there is a sample is non-homogeneous, or if it is there is a suspensions are present, then there is a deviation from the Beer's law. And here lastly, also it is desirable to test the law for the concentration between 10⁻⁶ to 10⁻²molars. So, friends, these are the 5 reasons, or these are the 5 factors which are responsible for the deviation from the Beer's law. Thank you.